Hi there, Theresa here from theresamonro.com, and I am here to talk about this full moon in October of 2018, along with the messages that the beings of light have for you in regards to the energy of this full moon. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you are here and you are back, welcome back. And if this resonates with you, please give it a thumbs up. Oh, first and foremost, let's do some cleansing and some shielding. It's one of my favorite sprays, and it's also spraying you. So they had a message, and they're talking about this is a special time this week. Initially, they gave one specific day being the 26th of this month, which is Friday here. But really what they're talking about is all this particular week that's tied to the energy of this particular full moon. Is that a number of insights and illuminations will come in around relationships in your life. This will largely be love relationships, but also if you've been looking for clarity around other kinds of relationships, that's something that's going to come to light, and you are energetically supported to receive messages about those. Some of those, this is something that happens in particular, it can happen at any time, but really it's largely for the collective happening right now. It'll happen a lot when Venus goes retrograde, so which we're in that period now through mid-November. But there's a specific time frame where you'll receive a tremendous amount of clarity if you've been confused around something, which is very ironic because that was something that I had been dealing with as well in a couple of different areas. And to give you kind of an example, there was a client even that called in today, and it's a perfect example. She was being shown the contrast between God bless her, she was really interpreting these situations really well. It's one of my favorite things when people ask, like, what are these signs exactly? I'm like, okay, here's the angels assisting you and what they mean. So she had been shown somebody who understood unity consciousness in her family, and somebody really brought people together. And then she also was being shown the contrast of people who were under the illusion or experiencing separation and creating that. So one was an original divine blueprint of unity, and one was the opposite of that. It's usually considered a miscreation. But again, those labels don't really matter, but she was really asking me about, wow, what are the differences here? What does that exactly mean? I said, well, it's showing up right now because you're energetically supported to understand and provide clarity for the way that you grew up versus a way that you can choose your family now in terms of separation consciousness versus unity consciousness. So it's sort of, another example of that can be, where you divide and conquer amongst people, or you have unity. And it's pretty much, it's an interesting thing because they're talking to me too that in some relationships sometimes you'll have like a yin and yang effect where one really understands separation consciousness and one really understands unity consciousness, and so sometimes the two together it can be, a bit blended in learning lessons from one another or showing one another, or provide healing and one the other providing clarity for, like, hey, watch out for this, or this one stating, okay, here's, how to deal with a situation and still stay in your, like, energetic integrity, meaning you're not going to drop your frequency when you're around somebody you normally would want to separate yourself from. Now, this is a little bit different when it comes to boundaries. So again, if you've been looking for relationship clarity, this is a week that you may have already received clarity around some things, but also you are energetically supported to find it. Again, some of those signs are going to be subtle, and some are going to be pretty much right in your face. That is something that has happened for me sometimes, where I'm like scrolling through Instagram, or sometimes I'll receive a message that somebody really wants me to go see something on Instagram. I open it and boom, that's the first photo that I see, and so it's interesting. It's a blessing, and sometimes not always so much fun to see certain things on Instagram, but the clarity that you're looking for is there, and it can be literally like right in your face. But the thing is, how you react to it is really up to you. So Ganesha is here, and he is one of the removers of obstacles. He's also one of the ones that will specifically place obstacles in your path for certain reasons, to protect you. If there's lessons that you're complete with, if there's people that you're complete with but you may not be able to see that necessarily, or somebody's decided to take a segue, or there's a whole number of different reasons. But I just want to spray the Ganesha spray for you, so for whatever obstacles it is you'd like to have removed. So same for here. Now my wish for you is that these angels that you're looking for be messages and clarity and insights, of things that you're looking forward to hearing, and cheers for the rest of you that are finding closure in certain areas. I'll tell you one thing that has hugely come up in sessions and clients recently is certain people in this time are having to take a look at where they're settling in life, and it can be distracting sometimes if you're with someone that it's like lived its purpose, and some people are trying to force that, like to continue on with that. And then there's other people that I have seen that are like, oh my goodness, they've just realized it's really hit home how much trying to force something that isn't working for them isn't working. It's ending, and they're just realizing, okay, there's this other thing that I'm really wanting to pursue, but I'm conflicted because it doesn't feel right to leave one person for another. Or what'll also be interesting though, like in my particular experience, I don't have a lot of wiggle room when it comes, not in this lifetime, to extend soul contracts or agreements in terms of how long I'm with someone. Once it's done, it's like boom, done. They'll warn. They usually give 3 warnings within like a few days, or if I'm lucky, a couple of weeks. So it's interesting for me to watch certain people be able to extend that, but even by years. I don't have the patience for it, to be quite honest. So I'm kind of glad that I'm protected that way, but boy, sometimes it feels like it rips like the Band-Aid off, or just grabs the rug out from underneath you, and I'm like, yeah, actually. And then I can look back later and go, yeah, actually, I'm really glad that happened at that timing, and they help me to understand later. They're comforting in the moment, and they oftentimes are with you guys too. And then sometimes we'll say that's not for right now, or they'll have whatever messages. They'll state, okay, that ended for this reason. And Ganesh is a lot of times one of the ones that's mentioning, okay, you don't need to be energetically involved with that at this particular time. So anyway, that's what's coming for you this particular week, is relationship clarity. And so it's also the full moon at the time that this is being filmed. So I'm curious, do you have a favorite full moon ritual? Share it with me down below in the comments. I would love to also share what my favorite one is, besides using the sprays of light, is because I have one I use on the new moon, which is the Make-A-Wish spray. That's even worked for headaches at times where I'm like, man, I have this energetic headache, I'd really like to have that go away. I spray and it's gone. Or things I want to bring in as well. But what was I going to mention? Yes, you can go to my blog post though on my website, theresamonroe.com, and click on my blog, and you'll see the most recent blog post about what my favorite full moon ritual is. And but yeah, I just wish for this to be a day that you can learn the grace of letting go, and the power of moving on. And if that's something that you need to do, if that resonates for you, and if not, that's okay too. So, but peace be with you. Bye.